Hello everybody, welcome back. Today they just released some new news about the Battle Pass weapons. So I wanted to go over them and look at them, give my opinion on them and compare them to the current Battle Pass weapons and the current roster in the game. So let's first take a look at the Feather Edge. This is gonna be the sword. Let's see what it does and compare it to the standard Battle Pass weapon. For comparison, the Lumen Gloss at max refinement. We'll look at max refinement since, these are Battle Pass weapons, and if you buy the Battle Pass, you'll go for the max refinements eventually anyways. The Lumen Gloss has 387 base attack with 36.4% attack. And when Resonance Scales cast, increased basic attack and heavy attack damage bonus by 64%. Decent weapon, a little bit low base attack and no crits obviously doesn't help. However, let's compare it to this weapon. So, the Feather's Edge looks pretty nice in my opinion. With 412 base attack and 20.2 crit rate, the base stats are a lot better. Of course, you want to see crit on your weapon nowadays. It's just gonna be better than attack percent in most cases. It makes your build easier and critting more is always appreciated. As for the weapon passive, casting your Resonance Liberation increases your attack by 7.2 to 23% and it grants 10.8 to 34.5% Resonance Liberation damage bonus for 15 seconds. This sounds nice, it gives a good amount of decent buffs, however there isn't a single resonator in the game that uses a sword and deals liberation damage. Now, we could speculate for incoming resonators. We have Chisa, my bad. We have Chisa upcoming. We don't know what she is. She could be a sword user that does liberation damage bonus. We have Chishuan, the dude. He's coming soon, and he could be a resonance liberation damage bonus character. It's just basically guessing who's gonna be what, but either one of them I think will be resonance liberation damage sword users. And for them, this weapon will be great. However, for others, it's a nice addition, the liberation damage bonus. However, I don't know how much it will do for the current roster. So, once these weapons get released, I'll make a little comparison to these weapons and the old Battle Pass weapons. Next up, we have the Aureate Zenith, the Broadblade. We have to compare the Aureate Zenith with the Autumn Trace. In my opinion, the Autumn Trace is a pretty decent weapon. It gives 412 attack and 20.2% crit rate. And as for the passive, it increases your attack by 12.8% upon dealing basic attack damage or heavy attack damage. This can stack up to 5 times for a total of 64% attack. I feel like this weapon is pretty good. Most units deal some kind of basic attack damage or heavy attack damage. Of course, this one is gonna be better on Gian or Augusta probably from what we've seen in game. So let's compare it to the Aureate Zenith. The Aureate Zenith is gonna be on par with the Autumn Trace when it comes to base attack. However, it will have 40.5% crit damage. So you'll have a little bit more crit damage, but you'll be lacking the crit rate to crit. Of course, crit rate or crit damage doesn't really matter, you just have to adjust your build to it. As for the passive, casting Resonance Liberation increases attack by 7.2% to 23% and grants 10.8% to 34% heavy attack and damage bonus. Now, most resonators won't be able to benefit from this weapon, however Augusta and Gian will both be able to benefit from this weapon. You get quite a bit of attack and quite a bit of heavy attack damage bonus at R5, making this probably on par with the standard 5-star sword. Of course, this weapon has the benefit of also having crit, since the standard 5-star weapon has attack percent as its substat. For other characters, however, it's not gonna be too great. Next, we have the Solar Flame. And we have to compare it to none other than the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt has 387 attack and 36.4% attack as its substat, whilst also granting 23% resonance skill damage bonus after hitting a basic or heavy attack. This stacks up to 3 times. So in total you'll get about 69% resonance skill damage bonus from this weapon. Not bad, but low base attack and attack percent as its substat doesn't help too much. Now for the Solar Flame. Its base attack is 412 and crit rate is 20.2%, which obviously is a lot better than the low base attack and the attack percent from the Thunderbolt. As for the passive, dealing basic attack or heavy attack damage increases attack by 2.2 to 7.2% and grants 2.2 to 7.2% heavy attack damage bonus for 7 seconds. This can stack up to 4 times to grant a total of 28.4% attack percent and 28.4% heavy attack damage bonus. Now we can't really compare them as a one-to-one. Obviously the Solar Flame will be better if we compare it on both characters that can use both weapons. However, this is resonance skill damage compared to the Solar Flame's heavy attack damage. And as it stands, we don't have a pistol user that really uses heavy attack damage bonus. Now of course Gobrena is coming out, so she could be the one that will deal heavy attack damage bonus. Of course, this is just speculation and I don't know anything about the character yet, except for the fact that she has pistols. However, most weapons seem to be catered towards the new cast of Septimon, so it does seem like these weapons will be great for Gobrena, Chishuan, Chisa, Augusta and Yuno. However, we gotta wait and see, of course. Next up, we have the Ether Strike. These are the gauntlets. We gotta obviously compare them to the Stonard with 412 base attack and 20.2% crit rate. It's pretty decent for a 4-star, alright. And when resonance skill is cast, you gain 54% resonance liberation damage bonus for 15 seconds. What's nice about these two weapons is they both grant liberation damage bonus. So for the base stats, it has 412 base attack with 40.5% crit damage. And as for the passive, casting Resonance Liberation increases attack by 7.2% to 23% and it grants 10.8 to 34.5% Resonance Liberation damage bonus for 15 seconds. If we compare these one to one, the Stonard is gonna be a little bit worse. 54% is pretty good. However, the attack increase is pretty nice and you obviously get the Resonance Liberation damage bonus together with it. So I can't wait to test these two out specifically because they have the same thing in mind. And since Yuno is gauntlets, we know that from our trip marketing, it's highly likely that she will be Resonance Liberation damage bonus. Although you can't, take my word for it. I don't know, I'm not sure. So it seems Yuno will be in the same damage type as Zhangli Yao, having the same weapon type as well. So if Yuno ends up being liberation damage focused, you can always use Zhangli Yao's weapon instead of having to go to the battle pass and getting this weapon. And finally, we have the Radiant Dawn, also known as the Rectifier. It looks pretty cool. It's like little wings. Compared to this thing straight up looks like a 3-star weapon, I'm gonna be real. But the augment, it has 412 base attack and 20.2% crit rate. As for the passive, it increases the attack from the wielder by 48% after casting a Resonance Liberation. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward, gives a lot of attack, nothing much more. Now we have this Rectifier with 412 base attack and 40.5% crit damage. It's also not too bad. And as for the passive, when casting Resonance Skill, increases attack by 9 to 28.8% and grant 9 to 28.8% basic attack damage bonus for 10 seconds. This passive is pretty decent, because if we actually go over to the Rectifier users, there are quite a lot that deal basic attack damage. You have Cantarella, which deals basic attack damage. Phoebe does a little bit, although most of it is heavy attack damage. Shusha, basic attack damage. And Encore also deals basic attack damage. 1/3 of the cast, not too bad. So 3 of them can use it. I do think there's gonna be another basic attack damage bonus rectifier usage sometime. However, only time will tell. So those were the new weapons. I think they're gonna be pretty great. I think they're gonna be a little bit better than the current versions we have right now. Obviously, the weapons that didn't have crit before on the battle pass, the new versions will be a lot better. I'm just interested in the characters that are coming out for the weapons, because obviously the sword, I'm interested in whether it's gonna be Chisa or Chishuan, but only time will tell. So thank you all for watching this short little video, and I hope to see you on my Agista guide soon. Appreciate you all. Bye bye.